Hey, what's going on? This is Wyatt Vaughn with the New Orleans Junior Journalism Program. We're back. We got a new setup today. We're sitting on a couch. Thank you JRNOLA for that. We're back talking Saints football. The Saints won last week. I'm here with my co-host
Chris Taylor,
and we've got a special guest today. This is our specialist photographer and also mentor at JRNOLA. This is Nick Boulet, straight from the Golden State area in California.
It's good to be on the show today.
Yeah, Phil couldn't join us today, so we got someone new. So first show today. How are your nerves?
I'm a little uneasy. I mean, I don't really like going live or being on camera too much. I'm getting better at it, but
practice makes perfect.
So yeah, nice to be here and talk some football.
All right. So we had a big week last week. A lot of good games. The Saints probably had the game of the week. The Saints got a close win. Very stressful, very close win. 6 points in the Superdome. Started off down by 14. It wasn't looking good. How were you feeling when they were down 14 in the first quarter?
I was stressing.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I'm not gonna lie. I was thought it maybe the end. We came out on the first play with a very rare interception. Honestly, we talked about this. I strongly disagree with throwing a deep pass like that or pass in general on the first play of the game. But the crazy thing about the play was if he would have just maybe overthrew the pass just a little bit, Tegan has some speed. So he could have got the ball and it could have been a touchdown. It would have been an entire different game. Maybe we might have blown him out because of the momentum we had. And if he would have got that touchdown, that deep, long pass on the first play, that could have shifted the momentum on our side early on. But, it kind of gave them the momentum, and we were down 14-0, and I was scared about the entire season. I'm not going to lie. I was scared. I was scared.
Yeah, so, Nick, how were you feeling? 14 points down? Were you nervous? Were you confident?
I was feeling kind of the same way. I mean, I was a little nervous. You got to just trust Drew Brees in any read he makes, and I guess like Chris was saying, it looked like it could have been the right read, but it was just a little underthrown, and I think the Eagles definitely capitalized on that early on, but it was good to see the Saints kind of dominate the rest of the game.
Yeah, it really did dominate the rest of the game. The last three quarters, the Eagles had less than 100 yards and 0 points. Michael Thomas actually outgained the Eagles in the last three quarters, which is crazy. And I think you were talking about it on that first play where Drew Brees kind of underthrew him a little bit. Drew Brees really struggled to throw that deep ball in that game, and he's kind of done it over the course of the season, more towards the end. We'll talk about that a little bit later and how that could affect the game. But did you want to say something real quick?
Early on in one of our earlier podcasts, I made a statement describing how Michael Thomas, without Drew Brees, he wouldn't be a Pro Bowler. For sure, I want to keep this statement. He would not be the exact same receiver without Drew Brees. Absolutely. But now with Drew Brees on his team in the present day, Michael Thomas is a for sure top 5 receiver in this league. In the National Football League, Michael Thomas is top 5, and you can arguably put him in top 3. We have players like Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, who else?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown is definitely
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. Adam Thielen. He can arguably definitely top 5, but if you look at his stats and the way he plays, his energy, his effectiveness on his team, he definitely can be a top 3 receiver, arguably. But, I want to definitely resent that statement I made about him being not being a Pro Bowl receiver because he deserves it 100%. So
I'm glad to see you came to the dark side there. So the Saints actually weren't the only team that played last week. There were 3 other games. The Chiefs played the Colts. The Chiefs won that game. And then the Patriots played the Chargers. The Patriots won that game. And the Rams played the Cowboys. The Rams won that game. For you, Nick, what was the most surprising result of last week out of the 4 games for you?
I'm going to have to go with the New England game, really, just the way how they kind of just came out and showed out. I mean, I thought that they were going to win going into it, considering they were in Foxborough, but I just wasn't expecting that result and them for them to get that much momentum and dominate the way they did that early really surprised me.
Yeah, I think that really surprised everyone. I know. I picked the Chargers last week in our Facebook Live because I thought the Chargers had either the second or first best roster in the playoffs next to the Saints, and I thought they were going to go into Foxborough and just beat them flat out. And Tom Brady definitely proved me wrong in that game. Tom Brady, there have been questions about, is he getting older now? I think he answered those questions last week. He played outstanding. So moving on from last week, the Saints won, so they move on. And the Los Angeles Rams won, a familiar foe for the Saints, played earlier in the year, as you guys will recall, a 45-35 slugfest. How do you see this game playing out, Chris?
Early on in the season, that game, we started out early. We had a 35-10 lead, if I'm not mistaken. And during that first half, we dominated them. Our offense came out firing. And for us to win this game again, we're going to have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just going to have to be – we're going to have to come out firing on all engines. And, last week, I think we talked about this. We had to knock off the rust. I think that was a big key that kind of showed our offense came out flat. The players even talk about how they were a little rusty and they came out flat early on in the game. But if we can pick up the momentum early and, lately we've been getting that first drive of the game. On that first drive, we need to score, definitely just put up some points. And that can definitely be the tell of the whole game. Our offense can come out with a lot of momentum and put points on the board. That's definitely going to be key into the win. And it's going to be a battle, though. It's going to be definitely going to be a battle. Last time we were in this predicament, NFC Championship against the Vikings. The man that won the game for us, Tracy Porter. That interception on Brett Favre on that last drive definitely secured that game. And I think it's going to be another one of those. The defense is going to have to step up as they did last week. The defense dominated last week. I give it to them. They dominated, and they just turned over. Marshawn Lattimore definitely came up clutch. It was a sad sight to see. I'm a Saints fan, but it's definitely a sad sight to see. Being an athlete, you never want to see a player in that type of predicament dropping a catch like that. He could have definitely maybe won a game for his team, going down the line. But it was a sad sight to see, without a doubt. But if our defense can step up and dominate once again, we can definitely win this game.
All right, so Nick, any quick thoughts before we really go in depth?
I kind of want to reiterate the fact that the defense is definitely going to have to continue what they did against the Eagles to compete in this game. Their offense is going to have to step up as well to compete with the offense. I mean, the Rams are a really good all-around team for the most part. And only have a few weaknesses. And I feel like Sean Payton is really going to have to game plan to attack those specific weaknesses to come out with the win this week. I think it's going to be a really hard-fought game by both sides, in my opinion. And I'm ready to see the better team win.
Yeah, so I want to go back to one of the things you said, knocking off the rust. Obviously, before last week, they had a week off, and then kind of a week off before that. They played in the game. It didn't matter. A lot of the starters didn't play. If you really look at the game last week, I'll ask you guys, after the first quarter, did they not look like the best team in the NFL?
They did. That's exactly.
I mean, after that first quarter, the defense allowed 0 points, just 97 yards, only less than 50 in the second half. And
49.
The offense, although they only scored 20 points, which isn't a ton for a Drew Brees-led team, they had the ball so much they couldn't score that much. They had an entire 12-minute drive that almost had the ball for more than the Eagles did after the first quarter. So, I mean, honestly, if you take out that first quarter, the Eagles really weren't in the game, and the Saints really dominated it after that. So, do you still think the Saints are the best team in the league?
Oh, for sure. I feel like, for one, the Eagles didn't deserve to be in the game, period, because, honestly, I felt the Bears were the better team in a matchup in a wild card. But, sad sight, guy missed a field goal. That was a very terrible sight to see. But, the Saints are definitely the best team in the league, without a doubt. Our offense dominated. If you can show 11-minute and 30-second drive, that shows you have control over the entire game. And that's going to be another big key against the Rams, keeping Todd Gurley and Jared Goff off of the field. That's going to be definitely a big key. Our time in possession can be just as well as it was in the Eagles game. We can definitely win the game for sure. And a team and an offense that can hold a team to under 50 yards and a half and hold the ball for 11 minutes and 30 seconds and in that drive and a touchdown, that's probably the best. That's the best thing you could get. I mean, they broke a playoff record that game with that drive. So, I mean, the stats show it. This is one time, like you're saying, says stats don't show everything like a bikini, but stats showing them this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely showing that we're the best team in the league, without a doubt.
Yeah, so Saints-Rams, that's one side of the bracket. We do have another side, the Chiefs and the Patriots. A great matchup from the regular season, a classic game, 43-40. Came down to a Steven Gostkowski last-second field goal for the Patriots. Patrick Mahomes went off. Tom Brady went off. Kareem Hunt went off. A lot of people went off in that game. So were you surprised at – not the Patriots. I think everyone was kind of surprised at the Patriots. Were you surprised the Chiefs came out so strong last week with a lot of people? In fact, one of our own, not Nick, but Phil, actually picked the Colts to win that game. There were a lot of people picking the Colts to win that game because they were hot. Were you surprised the Chiefs came out and just thoroughly dominated them so badly?
I think it was a fair choice to pick the Colts if you wanted to, because they were hot. Andrew Luck was dominating since his return this entire season. Like I said, I'm saying it again, he's definitely the comeback player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chiefs dominated on the offensive side. And the most surprising thing in the entire week, he said how the Patriots dominated. But to me, it's the Chiefs' defense. They're ranked 32 in the entire league. That's last, if y'all don't know. That they're ranked last in the entire league. And their defense dominated. They showed that they're not the best defense in the league, but they're definitely a Super Bowl caliber defense. And if they can do that once again against Tom Brady, they can definitely come out with a win. I knew Mahomes was going to come out because, he is the front runner right now in the MVP and will most likely win.
Yeah, he is.
But he dominated. He showed that he may be able to bring the Chiefs to the Super Bowl, and they haven't been there in a long time. And they may be able to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, which they haven't done in a long time as well. And it showed a difference. He said it himself that this generation is different, and the Chiefs will finally win a playoff game. And they lost, 5 straight games at home, and that was the first one in a long time. And he stood to his word, and he showed that he may be able to bring this team to the Super Bowl. If they can overcome Tom Brady and his greatness, they may be able to go to the Super Bowl and meet the Saints. So that's definitely. I'm very excited about the Saints game and Rams game. Absolutely. I think that's definitely the most exciting game of the week. Yeah, without a doubt. Chiefs versus Patriots, 2 dominant quarterbacks. That's going to be a very great game to watch.
Yeah, so let's go keys to the game. We'll start off with the Chiefs and Patriots. I'll start with you, Nick. What are some keys for you to this game?
Definitely gonna see how the Patriots react to coming into a hostile environment, like Arrowhead Stadium. I mean, it's gonna be tough. I mean, this is playoff football, and I mean, it's not always the better team that wins, because every Sunday, really, anything can happen. It's one game. So I think that a big key for the Chiefs would be to kind of treat it like they've kind of been treating the regular season, if you can, but sort of stick to what you've been doing this whole time, and kind of don't stray too far from your game plan. If you're Mahomes, you really want to watch out for turnovers, because I feel like that's the one part of his game that he kind of needs to work on. And I mean, for the Patriots, you kind of just have to sit back into what you've been doing for years now, and kind of come through with a very clutch win on the road. So that'll be it's going to be a really interesting game to watch. I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree that the home field advantage is a big part of this game, because Tom Brady and the Patriots have been dominant throughout his career there. But on the road in the playoffs since the beginning of Tom Brady's career, he is just 3-4 on the road in playoff games. So I think that's a huge sign that maybe the Chiefs is a good pick, just telling y'all for our predictions later. So what's a big key for you to this game?
Just for the Patriots to win, because I would like to see a Tom Brady versus Drew Brees Super Bowl. But for the Patriots to win, they don't have to run the ball. Tom Brady, they're going to definitely be looking for him to pass the ball and get those passes out to Gronk and Edelman for sure. But Sony Mitchell has been dominant this season. Is he a rookie? If I'm not mistaken,
he is a rookie.
He's a rookie from Georgia. He has had a dominant rookie season. No, he's definitely not a rookie of the year, anything like that. But his stats have been great for his production. His productivity has been great for this Patriots team. I mean, he's definitely been a positive and actually has helped them come to this point in the playoffs, which many people didn't believe they would be able to do. But excuse me, I'm kind of sick. But the Patriots can definitely come out with this win if they run the ball, stretch the field.
Very true.
Definitely keep the Chiefs defense on their toes because they're not the best defense in the league. So they're going against one of the best offensive players ever, Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. And if they keep them on their toes and keep them guessing, they'll definitely be able to come out with the win. I think the Chiefs, I definitely agree with what Nick said. If Mahomes can keep his turnovers down and not show, he is a very young player, and I think that's my biggest key with him, his inexperience. That's definitely something that I think that may cause a problem when he gets to this type of game. Going against a great player like Tom Brady, I just think the inexperience may be a negative and may cause some type of problem. But they definitely have a chance. That powerful offense, they definitely have a chance. You can't count either team out. Yeah, so that's why I say it's going to be a great game to watch.
So I think both of you guys touched on it. My key to the game is Patrick Mahomes' turnovers because in the first game against the Patriots, he had 2 interceptions. And at the end of the game, the Chiefs kind of just ran out of possessions. They were scoring on pretty much every drive. They just didn't have the ball last, and Tom Brady did, and that's not a recipe for success. So if he can keep the turnovers down, have as many possessions for his offense as he can, I think that is the key to victory for them. And when I look at this game compared to the one back in week 6, I think it's more about what's not on the field compared to week 6, because in week 6, the leading receiver for the Patriots was Josh Gordon. He had 5 catches for 60 yards. Mm-hmm. Josh Gordon's no longer there. Probably the best player on the Chiefs team, or he had the best game, was Kareem Hunt. He had a long 60-yard touchdown, great rushing game. He's not on the field anymore, and that game was in Foxborough. So I think this game is a vastly different game than that one. So just watch out for those 2 things, Josh Gordon and Kareem Hunt, not in this game. So let's move on to the more important game for us. We're all Saints fans here. Saints versus Rams, keys to the game. We'll start with you this time, Chris.
I said it. I'm going to say it again. Coming out strong. You know, we have the home field advantage. It's going to be loud. You know, last week I said that the decibel rate or the decibel meter, the sound noise meter, will reach about 150, and it reached half that. It reached about 128. And I think it's going to reach that again. It's going to be loud. The fans are going to be hyped. And the fans are definitely a key for sure. Every week, Who Dat Nation, Black and Gold fans is definitely going to be a key. But as far as on the field, it's going to be coming off fast. Drew Brees need to definitely get early touchdowns, get the running backs in the game, Kamara and Ingram, get them in the game early, get some nice 5-6 yard rushes just to get them started off, and that can definitely work out in the back half of the game during the fourth quarter, third quarter when it really matters. And Ted again, he's here. He showed it really stretched the field. We were able to get more slide routes and slant routes and drag routes with Michael Thomas, which he's known for it. He's had about 4 very key third down catches and first down conversions. Even on that first down drive, on that long drive, it was about 3rd and 20. They got pushed back to the 40-yard line. He caught a pass it was amazing, a high catch, and he was able to grab that. That's going to be very important, just converting on third down and just showing that you're a dominant offense as they are and as we all believe that they are. And like I'm going to say it again, the defense has to dominate once more, force turnovers. Cam Jordan has to get to the quarterback, force sacks, and not just force sacks, but force fumbles as he's getting those sacks. And if our cornerbacks can lock up the receivers, they don't have the best receivers in the league. They have Brandon Cooks. I think he's going to be kind of mad. He played for the Saints. He's going to a little chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? But if we can lock him up and just the defense can dominate, offense can dominate, and just show that they're the best team in the league, that can definitely lead to a W.
Yeah. So what are your keys to the game, Nick?
I think limiting the Rams' passing attack will be very key.
Mm-hmm.
You bring up a good point with Brandon Cooks. He had a great game last time he was at the Superdome. I expect him to have a good game on Sunday as well. Mm-hmm. But really, I think I really think that getting the run going and getting Ingram and Kamara going, and then that will kind of stretch the floor, bring momentum to your team, and kind of start to get, the Dome a little riled up. Like, big shout out to Dome Field Advantage. Yes, you were saying it was. Yes. You could really tell that it was a playoff game in there last Sunday. I mean, like, it's always loud there on a Sunday, but I mean, it was really loud this past game.
Loud.
Yeah, loud.
It was loud.
So I'm excited to hear what they got, and yeah, I think that could play a really big part in the game. I think that's a really I mean, it's mentioned a lot, but I think its impact is kind of underrated.
Yeah, so I have really two keys to the game, but I think one is more important than the other. I think one of my keys is definitely to stop the run game of the Los Angeles Rams. They ran for over 200 yards last week against a very good Cowboys defense. So I think if the Saints can stop the run game, now with Sheldon Rankins out, that's going to be even tougher to do. Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson, that's a very tough running attack to stop, especially when you've got the threat of play action with Jared Goff. So if the Saints can stop that, I feel like they'll be in very good shape. But I think the most important thing is probably the Saints' offensive line. If I had to say, the Rams' defensive line is one of the best in the league. Aaron Donald, Dante Fowler, and Ndamukong Suh, Michael Brockers, exactly. They've just got beasts on that defensive line. And they had 0 sacks in the first game. The Rams had 0 sacks. I think that was a huge part in why the Saints won that game. If the Saints can do that again, I think the Saints will be in business. So let's move on to our predictions for this week. Last week in review, me and Chris were 3-1.
3-1, not bad.
Phil, he was 1-3. That's actually why he's not here. No, just kidding. Phil will be back. But so this is your first week doing predictions. So we'll start off with Chiefs Patriots. What are you going in that game?
Chiefs Patriots. Well, I really like Mahomes. I think he's a great quarterback. I think
me too.
His talent level is off the chart. I think he's going to be great in this league. I think Andy Reid is an underrated coach, and I think he should be put up there with the likes of people like Belichick. Doesn't exactly have the same resume, but I think he's a very good coach. But I'm going to go with the team that has been here before, and I think that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick will find some way to win this game on Sunday. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Just Patriots. All right. Fair play.
I totally 100% agree with everything you said. Mahomes, he's a great quarterback, but he's inexperienced. This is a big show. He's never been on this stage. Your first year starting as a quarterback, you're in the AFC Championship. His turnovers has been hurting him the entire season. That's the thing. At first, that was keeping him, in my opinion, from winning MVP. Just his efficiency and his accuracy. He's a young quarterback, and I honestly think that's going to come to bite him playing against Tom Brady. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks besides Drew Brees, of course. And they're just experienced. They've been here before, like Nick said. Somehow, some way, they're gonna win. It's crazy to say it, but Bill Belichick, somehow he has a game plan, and somehow it's everything works right for them somehow every game. I can't count them out. You really can't. It's definitely going to be a great game to watch. But I'm going to have to agree with Nick and go with the Patriots. The GOAT, Tom Brady on the team. And, I mean, you can't count them out. It's a great argument for the Chiefs as well just because of the dominant offense that they have. But the defense, I feel like, is going to hurt them, keeping them on their toes with their run game and the pass game, almost like the Rams with the play action. It's definitely going to – I feel like the defense is going to hurt them as it has all season. Well, not really because they've been able to win. But, just the weakness is going to come out. And I'm going to agree with Nick and go with the Patriots. And somehow, some way, Tom Brady will be in another Super Bowl. But he won't get another ring.
Cool. Okay, big predictions there. So you guys are both going Patriots. And I'm going to disagree.
It's only right.
I firmly believe that this game in Kansas City will be the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
From Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes.
He was going to say that.
This is this is Patrick Mahomes. This is the beginning for him. It has already started.
Already?
He is the next great quarterback in this league, and this is his first. This is his validation right here. I think when you look at the teams, I think the Chiefs match up well with the Patriots because I think the Patriots defense, what's their weakness? The deep ball.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes throws the deep ball better than anyone in the league. And their offense, it's Tom Brady. But how do you stop an all-time great quarterback? You pressure them. And the Chiefs, although I understand.
They can run. Okay, go ahead.
And you talk about Ben here. Sony
Yeah.
Michel hasn't been there. So
Well,
Sony Michel might not be as big of a factor as we talked about.
I mean, you got Tom Brady in your corner. You're going to be there. You're going to be there when you got Tom Brady in your corner.
But like I said, how do you stop an all-time great quarterback? You put pressure on him. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to shut him out by any means, but the Chiefs have struggled on defense all year. But what's their strong point on defense? Their defensive line. Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, D Ford, outside linebacker, they've all had really good seasons. They've been pretty good at pressuring the quarterback, and I think that's going to be a big key in this game. And Tom Brady always has trouble with the Chiefs. He didn't earlier this year, but a couple years ago, 2014, he actually lost to the Chiefs 41-14, got benched in that game. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, the score was 41-14 while they play him.
I mean, that was a while.
Yeah.
That was a while back. But,
I know. But and then 2011, the Chiefs were actually the team that tore Tom Brady's ACL.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Brady definitely has a history with this team.
Yeah.
Whether that works out in the Chiefs' favor or the Patriots' favor is yet to be seen. But you guys are Patriots, I'm Chiefs.
So the one thing that I'm going to agree with you in the entire thing that you said, this is the first time we made, the passing of the torch. And if Mahomes comes out with this win and they go to the Super Bowl, I honestly believe he'll be one of the next upcoming great quarterbacks in this entire league, and it definitely will be the passing of the torch.
It won't be upcoming if he wins this game. He will be.
I think he's top 5 next year if he wins. If he wins,
already top 5.
If he wins this game, he's definitely top 5 in the league, best quarterbacks, and he's definitely gonna get a contract of big money.
So is he already not top 5?
Breeze, Brady, Roethlisberger,
Rodgers.
Roethlisberger over Mahomes. Roethlisberger over Mahomes.
I wouldn't pick him. I mean now because he's younger, of course, but I don't think he's there. That's what I'm saying. If he wins this game,
okay. So in this AFC Championship game, who would you rather have as your quarterback?
Mahomes.
Roethlisberger.
Mahomes.
Okay, so
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is better.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but
so you've got
I
Brady.
think we can agree
Breeze.
on the
Yeah, we can
Rodgers.
agree. We agree.
So is he top 5? Mahomes?
So
Are you saying?
Brady,
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Which he might be better than some of them already, but
No.
Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers just
It's
had
kind of
it was just
question
kind of
mark.
yeah. it is
Either
a
way,
question mark.
he's top 5.
He's top.
He's got to be
okay,
top 5.
He's top 5.
He's the MVP.
He's top 5. He's top 5. I'll give him that. He's top 5, and he definitely moves up in the rankings. Maybe top 3. Maybe
Top
if he
1.
win this game. Dude, he's not better than Brady or Breeze. You
I
can't.
said maybe next year. Not
No,
this year.
dude, he's not top 1 until they retire.
Okay.
But anyways, I definitely agree. It's definitely gonna be the passing of the torch if he comes out with this W.
I think we can all agree it's going to be a very
Yeah,
entertaining
it's gonna be
game.
definitely
I
absolutely.
think that it's going to be really hard for the Patriots to win because that it's in Arrowhead. I think
That's gonna be cold.
I think that's going to
It's gonna be
matter a
really
lot,
cold.
actually. But I think they're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder because of the loss in the Super Bowl last year, and I think Belichick is really going to come in with a killer game plan.
Yeah, and you just mentioned something I actually forgot to mention. I said it earlier. Patriots 3-4 on the road in playoff games. You look at it a couple years ago, they lost to the Broncos in Denver.
Yeah.
Obviously, that team went on to win the Super Bowl, but still, they only scored 18 points in that game. So that's a big reason why I'm picking the Chiefs also. So let's go on. Saints, Rams. We started with you last time. Let's start with Chris this time.
I think this is something we can all agree on, like I said.
Well, not yet.
Come on, don't assume.
It's going to be the Saints, of course. Just they're dominant. It's just that's the thing. That's the X factor. They're dominant on both sides of the field, and they're dogs. They go out there like they're not the best team in the league to me. They go out there, everybody with a chip on their shoulder. Demario Davis, last year or years before, nobody knew who he was. We didn't know who he was. He's going out there he looking like one of the best linebackers in the league every time he goes play. He's the hardest hitter out there. They play with the edge every night, every Sunday night, every Monday night game. Every game they go out there with an edge, and they want to win. They look like a Super Bowl winning team, and they just play together. They play in that dome. It's just don't feel that advantage is a big, big key. And they just play like they're going to win a Super Bowl, and they play like they play for each other. They play for their city. And just you can feel a spirit, feel an atmosphere. Like they play like they playing like the last game they ever played in their life. And that mentality and that heart that they have will separate them. And it's not just the stats and everything. That is, I think, will be one of the biggest keys is how they play. That mentality and that heart is just going to separate them for sure. And I'm taking the Saints, and it's going to be a good game, but we're going to definitely pull off the win.
Very inspiring, Chris. What about you, Nick?
I really like both teams. I think the running game for both teams is great. I think the quarterbacks are great. I think the coaches are amazing and have kind of perfected their own kind of art.
True.
But I am going to have to side with Chris here. I mean, like he said, I think there's something aside from all the stats and the record and the home field. Well, the home field advantage has something to do with it. But there's something aside from the record that it feels, you kind of have a special feeling when they play, and the unity of the team and kind of basically how everything kind of works as a system and just how complete the whole roster is. From top to bottom, you kind of really get that feeling that this team is a Super Bowl caliber team. And so I think that they're going to show up with their fans backing them and that they're going to come out and beat the Rams this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to get a long little soliloquy in there, but you guys pretty much covered it all. Saints all the way, all three of us. Sad to see a season end like that for the Rams, but unfortunately.
Go back to
Yeah, it's gotta go.
You got to go. So
LA doesn't want it as much.
LA doesn't
Yeah.
want it. So with this being your first time on the show, Nick, our biggest talking point on this show has probably been the MVP race.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. We're not getting in much, but
And I'm the only one who's right. So, what is your opinion on the MVP? Just real quick.
Well,
we don't want to get an argument.
Yeah, let's keep it brief. I already know your guys' opinion on the MVP. But since Phil isn't here, I need to be the Phil in the room, and I need to stick up for this man Drew Brees because I know you don't like that. The whole. It's not it's not a career award. It's a season award. But this guy has never won an MVP.
Yeah, this might be his last chance.
And he has played remarkable.
He has.
All season. One interception.
Dallas game.
Sorry.
Game.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. But aside from a few hiccups, I mean, I'm not going to mention Mahomes' hiccup. I'll just let you look those up yourself. But
what hiccups? I didn't say the hiccups.
The Rams game. But
he had 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
without
an interception.
He had 3 of them, and none of them were his fault.
Okay, so
they lost the game.
They did lose the game, but
because
basically,
their defense gave up
come on,
points.
we got to keep this. We got to keep
you're
this
right,
brief.
You're right.
But yeah, basically, I respect Mahomes, and I enjoy looking at all of the stats, and I think that it's very impressive what he's doing this early in his career. But I mean, you got to look at the teams that Drew has won against. I mean, Mahomes has had a kind of subpar record against winning teams.
True.
And I think Drew has a lot less interceptions. Granted, Mahomes has had a lot more attempts, as you mentioned a lot. But I just think that the way he has kind of led this team just makes it that he is the most valuable player.
Hey, that's a great argument.
I think that to a certain extent, the Chiefs without Mahomes, I don't know where they would be as well. But I think that same argument can really be made for Brees because you don't really know the kind of value that he has until you don't have him on the team anymore. And who knows how as good as the defense and the offense and Sean Payton is, I mean, you don't really know where they would be without a guy like that.
Yeah, very true. So special thanks to our special guest, Nick. We're going to get some profiling on him real quick. So Nick Boulet, photography specialist. We're talking about football. What is your favorite football team, NFL?
Well, I mean, I really love the Saints, and it's been great to see them up close and personal and to kind of really have, I guess, coming from where I came from, there wasn't really the kind of same culture around football on Sundays. And so I think the Saints are up there with my favorite teams in the league, but the number one team of mine has to go with the Oakland Raiders.
That's unfortunate.
He's from the Bay.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Berkeley.
It's a sad case. It's sad for me
to.
to hear that you're an Oakland Raiders
And I just gotta really give a shout out to Oakland. I mean,
they're moving to Las Vegas.
yeah,
so,
John
I mean,
Gruden, keep going forward.
you got a couple more years with them.
And just keep your head up. I mean, you know.
So you're our mentor here. So tell the viewers, what has your experience been like mentoring such great kids as me, Chris, and Phil? You know, and all the rest of the people, the unknown people in the newsroom.
It's been great. I mean, in all seriousness, it really has been a great experience here at JRNOLA, and I value my experiences coming from, you know, at the Nord facility back in the day,
you're right.
and really now having our own newsroom. It's great to see the growth in the nonprofit and kind of basically, watch the growth and kind of grow with this organization. And getting more kids is great. And I really like working with high schoolers. I'm not too removed as a college senior, so I feel like I can relate a lot. And it really just gives me a great opportunity to cover events and also be a teacher, really. And I basically have got to, you know, be on the field at Saints games, doing some, NCAA stuff, WrestleMania, like a bunch of cool stuff. And so, I really have enjoyed my time working here.
Thank you. So we got a quick question here. Favorite game or events that we have covered? So I guess each individually. We'll start with you, Chris. What has been your favorite?
My favorite
so
game, I think it may have been the WWE WrestleMania. It was with me and Nick. You know, we were just like, this is like the time we were able to see fans and just see the culture, like they actually back up and like they're really like into it. Like they know. I used to watch WWE and I used to be into it when I was a little younger, but they got grown men and grown women out there dressed up with their best costume for their favorite WWE superstar. That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And you know, it's kind of the same with football and basketball, but you know, it's kind of different. But I think that's one of my favorite events that I've covered.
All right. What about you, Nick?
WrestleMania was really cool. It was good to be that. It was really cool because we also went to like the media day for WrestleMania as well, and that was really cool to just talk with those athletes.
Get to know
and
them.
get really, and also to work with Fox. It was really cool.
That was nice.
But I think just as a whole, I really just enjoy covering Saints stuff just because, like I said, it's really covering Saints games. It's just kind of an entry into a whole different culture that I kind of really wasn't exposed to. I mean, Sunday really is not as religious of a day. It's not in terms of culture, but in terms of football, you know, back home it's not nearly as big as down here, and I really appreciate being exposed to that. And, so I really like Saints games.
Yeah, for me, I'd also have to go with the Saints game. I have to go. One in particular was against the Redskins on the field, being able to photograph Traquan Smith as he ran into the end zone as Drew Brees broke the career all-time passing record. That was the most incredible thing for me. So
that's nice. It's actually just the atmosphere.
Do you guys want to speak on any of the hosts from Sunday Countdown that you guys got to interview as well?
When we did,
that was
Coach
really
Rex
awesome.
Ryan, Matt Hasselbeck. That was a really nice experience. It was nice for those guys to actually take the time out and want to interview. Allow us to interview them and share some of their knowledge that they have with us about journalism and just sports broadcasting and things like that, and just about their life. And it was really a nice experience. We thank those guys for that for sure.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know.
Very nice, very nice. So that's all we've got for you today. And before we sign off, I just want to say one thing. I am a Saints fan, guys. I am a big Saints fan. Contrary to popular belief, although I do love Patrick Mahomes, I am a huge Saints fan.
He is. I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
So that's us signing off. This has been Wyatt Vaughn, Chris Taylor.
Special
thanks to our special
thank you.
guest,
It's good being
Nick
on.
Boulet.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. And we're JRNOLA, and we will see you next week.
Signing out.